2 minutes to the gentleman, 3 minutes, sorry, 3 minutes, the gentleman from Oregon, Mr. Blumenauer.
Gentleman from Oregon, for 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I appreciate my colleagues' courtesy in permitting me to speak on this. I do appreciate what the Transportation Infrastructure Committee is doing. I feel a bit empty no longer being on the committee. It's why I try and show up as often as I can when you have things on the floor. There's a soft spot in my heart for the committee, and it's nice to see a Schuster again chairing the committee. I appreciate your moving forward to try and call the question. Yours has been a difficult task because the committee on which I sit, the Ways and Means Committee, has yet to address in a comprehensive way the long-term funding. Your job is made much more difficult because you're forced to deal with paying for 2015 infrastructure through 2021 with $1993, and it doesn't much work. I will be offering in a few minutes to the Rules Committee legislation that I've introduced that is supported by the AFL-CIO, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, truckers, AAA, bicyclists, engineers, local government, the widest array of alliances supporting a major piece of legislation here on Capitol Hill. I'm not extremely confident that it'll be made in order, but I think it's something that should. Unless and until we deal with adjusting the user fee, we're going to continue dealing with cats and dogs, short-term fixes, having uncertainty, and destroying the principle of user pays, which has been undergirding transportation finance in this country since Oregon gave you the first gas tax dedicated to transportation in 1919. I must say that I appreciate the committee looking at transportation for the future. At a time when the #1 area of employment for American men is drivers, we're about to see dramatic changes in technology, in utilization that's going to change the landscape. I appreciate the committee exploring areas of technological innovation. These are areas that we must accelerate our work lest we be overcome by circumstances. There's a tremendous opportunity for us to get more value out of the transportation system, more safety, to get more efficient, and to be able to open up a whole array of economic opportunities. And if we don't get ahead of it, it's going to be very disruptive. I must say that I'm a little dismayed that the bill proposes flat funding for something near and dear, I think, to the hearts of a number of us, dealing with pedestrian and cycling activities. We can do better than that, and I hope through the amendment process and the give and take between the House and the Senate, particularly if we're able to give you the funding you need, that we can remedy that. But in the meantime, I appreciate what has been done, the manner in which it's been approached, and the effort to try and bring people together. Infrastructure was something historically that was bipartisan in nature, that made people feel good about the process, and is, of course, the fastest way to put millions of Americans to work at family wage jobs while they improve communities from coast to coast. I look forward to working with the committee as it works its way through the process to make it as the best that we can for the multiple objectives that we all share. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I now recognize for 1 minute the gentleman from upstate New York, Mr. Katko, a new member of the committee and one of our hardest working members. I yield him a minute.
Gentleman from New York is recognized for 1 minute.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. I'm proud to support the Surface Transportation Reform and Reauthorization Act. This legislation is a product of hard work done in a bipartisan manner, and it will give state and local governments some funding certainty for the first time in a long time. The bill makes important reforms that will speed up planning and permitting, give state and local governments increased control over transportation funds, help deal with freight bottlenecks, and provide new avenues to finance projects. After 35 short-term extensions to transportation programs since 2009, this long-term bill is exactly what we need. I want to thank Chairman Schuster and Ranking Member DeFazio for the hard work they put in to build bipartisan consensus around this bill as a Transportation and Infrastructure Committee, and I hope the full House will join with us today to move this very important legislation forward. Thank you, and I yield back.
Gentleman from Oregon.
I'd reserve